India Today has been getting you continuous coverage of urban death traps in your cities. Today, the victim is a 6-year-old girl from Visakhapatnam on India's east coast. Little Atidhi was about to get into her car when she slipped into an open and overflowing drain. She didn't even know it was there. It was raining heavily, she couldn't see the drain, and she was swept away. It's been nearly 24 hours, but there's still no sign of little Atidhi.
Urban apathy kills now in the port city of Vishakapatnam. A 6-year-old was swallowed by an open drain. Atidhi had just finished with her tuition and was about to get into the car on Thursday evening. It was raining heavily and she could not see the open drain and slipped. Hours are passing by, but there is no sign of the 6-year-old.
Police, revenue, GVMC, this fire department, all departments came here and we continued search operations.
Navy and Marine Police have been pressed into action. The drain after 700 meters leads to a big open drain about 1 kilometer from the sea. It is feared that Atidhi may have been washed away into sea.
No, GVMC, police, fire department, local public. Anni kalpesi is more than 500 members pani chestunnaru. Night 7:30 eppudu accident ayindu. Appadi nunchi night morning 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock daaka chesaru. Ippudu anumanam emundante body sea lo vellipoyindi kabatti.
The opposition and locals blame the civic body for leaving the drain uncovered.
The municipal corporation or the government officials didn't take any action. That is why the child fell on the open drain and died subsequently.
The latest incident is yet another in the recent spurt of accidents due to urban apathy. Earlier in Thane, a woman died due to pothole accident. A similar case in Bengaluru, where the husband was booked when his wife, riding pillion, lost her life. Earlier this week, a man was found dead in an open manhole in a Hyderabad hospital. With T.S. Sudhir and Ashish in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, we've heard from the politicians, we've heard from the activists, we've heard the voices which, indulge in a blame game about who really is responsible for these deaths, for these death traps out there in each and every city of this country. But let's get a word of reason. Let's get some facts here on News Today. Vivek Menon is a well-known urban planner. He joins me live this evening from Bengaluru. Vivek, thanks so much. Good evening. Thanks for being with us and giving us your time. Vivek, this, manholes, potholes, open drains, this isn't anything by any stretch of imagination that's new. We've seen them. We've grown up, seeing them in every one of the cities we've ever, managed to visit. What is it about this issue? I mean, I know that the media focus on these deaths, is something that's highlighted them in a way that's raised awareness in a bigger way before. But people dying and their families being blamed, children dying, their mothers being charged by the police, there appears to be an apathy that's gone to an epic level now, Vivek.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think the biggest problem here, Shiv, is the fact that, this is not going to be the first death, neither is it going to be the last one. And the unfortunate part is today, you talk about apathy and indifference, but the larger part is the arrogance today that is being exhibited by most of these civic agencies. And, I've been, for the past 9 years, advocating better infrastructure across Bangalore. We've built, in fact, a model road here in Bangalore called Vittalmalya Road. We have extended that to 50 more roads in Bangalore called Tendishwar. Now, the bottom line over here is the fact that, most civic officials today do not understand the responsibility, the accountability, and the unfortunate part is that there's no liability attached to it. That's the reason why you see crumbling infrastructure, not just here in Bangalore, but all all across the country today.
Yes.
And this little girl did not have to die of that. In fact, 6 years ago, there was a boy named Abhishek here who was washed away in a similar condition. He fell into a drain, got washed away. In fact, he was not caught anywhere along the Rajakaluways, and he went into one of the lakes. They never found the body thereafter. And, that's a shocking blow. So what needs to happen? What needs to bend within the system? The unfortunate part today that we are seeing is that most civic agencies do not have a very strong system in place.
Yes.
We do see commissioners, we do see politicians coming out there and talking about, what they would like to see as corrective action. But I think there needs to be a systemic change. Today I can talk about the BBMP, the Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike. You see that, there's obviously not a strong enough departments, I would say, that are there to basically look at how infrastructure is built. And even though, JNNURM with its very noble approach came into most urban centers with financial assistance, we see that most of that money has gone down the drain.
Yes.
Quality control is something that is absolutely non-existent.
So it's also about fearlessness, isn't it, Vivek? It's also about fearlessness. The fact that there's no system in place, there is a systemic problem, but also an arrogance and a fearlessness that even if people die, even if, children like Aditi get swept or Abhishek get swept away, leaving behind grieving parents, there's going to be no pull-up. There's going to be no accountability on any individuals. So it's fearlessness also.
Exactly. Absolutely. I mean, the case in point is the fact that, when the lady Stuti, when she passed away, they blamed her husband and actually filed a case. Now, the police commissioner came back later saying that, that was the procedural part of registering a case. But then again, that just shows how indifferent they are to the system, how insensitive they are to the system actually. And I think this is something that really needs corrective action. Now, civil society, many of us here in Bengaluru are actually taking the step of assisting the government, working with the government, because what we want to do here is not point fingers and create a blame game, but is to actually change the quality of life of urban dwellers. And I think, with the fact that we've got enough of resources, financial resources at hand, it just takes effective design and an effective implementation mechanism, which, if done right, could potentially change the face of most of our cities.
Right.
The apathy, the indifference, and today there's that arrogance which is actually creeping in. About 2 years ago, there was a BMTF, a Bangalore Metropolitan Task Force, that actually filed cases against 100 engineers here in Bangalore. Now, the end result of all of that was actually the chief of the BMTF got shunted out and the engineers went about business as usual. Now, this has to really change. Day before yesterday, in fact, yesterday, the minister who's in charge of Bangalore, Mr. Ramalinga Reddy, was taken on a tour of Bangalore.
Yes.
He was shown a road, the BDA officials chose a road that had one pothole. Now, I'm at the studio right here, and right outside here on Richmond Road, half the road is unusable.
I know.
Now, who is to blame for this? And at the end of the day, it's not very difficult to fix these problems. Vivek, you raise a very important point.
You raise a very important point about how this needs to be a constructive reaction. And I can tell you that, the media focus on this issue is going to be invaluable. I know I'm sitting here on this side of the camera, but I can tell you that we are not going to let go of this issue. We're going to cover it not just in Bengaluru, but in all cities where these stories come up. It presents itself as an opportunity to pay attention to something that has been in malaise for far too long, and let's make use of this attention that the media is paying to it to help people like Vivek Menon and the groups that they're part of to do something constructive and make sure that no more lives are lost. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, Vivek. Thank you so much.